Hello, this is Richard again for another edition of Learning with Rich. So for today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to create a door schedule and a door hardware key schedule. Okay, so you can just open your sample project, or if you do not have a sample project, you can just drop an email and then you can just message me, and then I will gladly share you the Revit model that I have. Okay, so to start with, okay, so to create a door schedule, so from the schedules from the project browser, so I'm going to right click this, and then there's this schedule quantities. Okay, so I'm going to select this, and then from the new schedule dialog box, since we are going to create here a door schedule, so I'm going to look for doors. So I select the doors. Okay, and then after that, as you can see, by default, that's the name of our door schedule. So I'm going to select here OK. There you go. Okay, then after that, so we are going to select, or I'm going to select here the fields that I want to appear on my schedule. Okay, so from the available fields, I'm going to place it here on the scheduled fields. Okay, let's say, for example, I want to add the mark. Just double click that. You will notice it will be added here. Let's say you want to include the family and type, the width, the height, right? The cost also, and the level. Okay, so these are the fields or the columns that I want to appear on my schedule. Okay, if you want, you can also change the order of your scheduled fields by using move up and move down here. So let's say you want to interchange this, so you can move up, so you can move down. Okay. Right, so aside from that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here OK. So this is how it looks like. So this is now my door schedule. So as you can see, it's now added here on our project browser, which is this one. Alright, so this is now our door schedule. So let's say, for example, I want to sort my door schedule based on the mark here. Okay, so I'm going to sort my door schedule based on the mark. So what I'm going to do is, from the properties here, there is this sorting / grouping. So I'm going to select here edit. So I select edit, and then from the schedule properties dialog box again, from the sorting grouping, so I'm going to select here mark. Okay, so I select mark, and then after that I select here OK. So you will notice it's now sort based on the mark of my doors here. You can also adjust that. Okay, you can also adjust your door schedule, the columns here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the value. Let's say, for example, I want to change the value of the cost here. Okay, so I click this, and then I'll type the value. Let's say 2250, and then enter. Okay, so I'm going to select OK to apply the change to all the elements of curtain wall double glass type of door. So after I select here OK, so you will notice it's now updated. Okay, right? So since they are both the same type, so after I change one of the costs here, it also updates the other door. Why? Because they are just on the same type. Okay. So what we're going to do next on our door schedule, so after we create that, so I'm going to create a door hardware key schedule. Okay, so I'm going to create a door hardware key schedule. So again, to create a schedule, I'm going to select here the schedule quantities. I'll just right click again, and then I select new schedule quantities. Okay, and then I'm going to select here the doors again. Doors, there you go. And then for the name, okay, so I changed the name here. Door hardware schedule. Schedule. Okay, and then just make sure you select here schedule keys. Okay, so I'm going to select here schedule keys, and then for the key name, okay, so enter door hardware. Okay, so for the key name, you just key in there door hardware, and then after that, I'm going to select here OK. Again, what will happen is on the schedule properties here, so we are going to add again scheduled fields here. Okay, so this scheduled fields. Now, so to add, so let's say for example, the fields that you want to add to your scheduled fields here is not available here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new type. Okay, a new parameter. That's why there's a add parameter here. In case your available fields here is not available, so you can select here add parameter. Okay, so I'm going to select here add parameter. So I select this one. And then from the parameter properties dialog box, from the parameter data, so I'm going to type here. So let's say I want to include the hardware type. Okay, the hardware type, and then common discipline, and then the type of parameter instead of length. So I'm going to select here text, so I can type the text later on. Okay, so you can type the text. Okay, and then I'm going to place the group, or I'm going to place this hardware type parameter under the group other. Okay, so it's just like this one. You see these parameters here, it's under the group other. So that is what I'm going to do here also. So I want to put this hardware type parameter under the other group parameter. So after that, I select OK. So you will notice it will now be added here. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create again another parameter. So I select here add parameter, and then this time I'm going to type here closer. Okay, so I type closer, and then this time I'm going to change here the type of parameter instead of length. So I change that to yes or no. Okay, so that you can specify if you have closer parameter on that particular door or you don't have. So you can select yes or no parameter. Again, I'm going to place it under the other group. So I select OK. All right, so it's now there. And then again, I'm going to create parameter again. So add parameter. So let's say I create a frame silencer. Okay, so frame silencer, the parameter again is yes or no. Put it on the other group. So I select OK. I'll just add again. So let's say this is for the kick plate. Okay, so kick plate. So I'm gonna make sure that the type of parameter here is yes or no also. Okay, and then I select here OK. So how many parameters that I have here? So I have the key name, hardware type, closer, frame parameter, frame silencer, kick plate. So let's say I want to add another parameters here. So I just select add again. So let's say I want to add lock set. Okay, so lock set. And then again, for this one, I'm going to select text. So I can type the text here. Okay, I select text, and then I put it under the other parameter again. Lock set. So what else? I'm going to create also the hinges. Okay, so hinges. Again, it's text under the group other. Okay. Now, if you want to reorder your scheduled fields here, so I'm going to, let's say I want to move up the lock set. So I click that and then I can move up. All right, so same with the hinges. So I click the hinges and then move up. All right, then after that, I'm going to select here OK. So you will now have your door hardware schedule. Now to add columns here or row, I'm sorry, it's if you want to add rows here, so there is this insert data row that you can select. So you can select that one. So as you can see, you now have one here. Okay, and then you just need to type. Okay, so I'm going to type here. So let's say, for example, for the hardware type, I'm going to type here passage. All right, and then for the lock set, I'm going to key in here A series. So you just have to key in any value that you want to use here. Okay, so for the hour lock set, we select text from the parameter, right? That's why we can type the text. You see, if I go back to the fields here, so if I select the hardware, okay, so this is, if I select edit, you will notice that is text. That's why we are able to type a text here. And then for the closer here, the parameter that we use there, or the type of parameter is yes or no. That's why we are able here to check it or not. Okay, so meaning if closer is present to this door. All right. So I just key in here, let's say for the hinges, okay, I'm going to type here BB. Let's say, for example, this is their code for this door. Okay, so BB5 knuckle. Okay, then enter. All right, so I'll just adjust it. Okay, and then you can, like what I've said, you can check or no this one. For example, there's no closer, there's no key plate, and then I'm just going to check the frame silencer. Okay, then after that, I'm going to add another row here. So I click again, insert data row. So let's say I'm gonna key in here locking office, or again, if you have any other hardware type that you want to key in, you just need to type it. Okay, so I'm going to type here ANSIF8, so that's the code. And then for the hinges here, okay, so I'm going to use again, let's say I want to use this again, so I'm going to click the drop down arrow, so it's now there, right? Again, for the closer, I'm going to clear this, and then the kick plate, I'm going to uncheck also. Okay, so after you enter a field value, it is already available for other fields in that column. Okay, and then let's say I want to add also, I want the frame silencer again for this type of door. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert 4 data rows. Okay, so I click this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to add the details for my model. So let's say this is egress type. Okay, so egress. And then let's say this is my, oh sorry. So egress, this is my series 22 extension dev. Okay, for example, that's the lock set type. And then for the closer, so I'm going to check the closer here. Okay, and then for the hinges, I'm going to select again the same type. Frame silencer, so I'm going to check this. I'm going to check again the kick plate here. So let's say on this type, I want to include the kick plate, silencer, and then closer. All right, and then I'm going to key in the other values here. So for the entry, restroom door, and also the storage. So I select the storage, and then I'm going to key in for the fourth here. I'm going to use this again. So I'll just adjust so you can see. All right, so I'll just adjust. For the restroom, let's say I just want to use a push-pull. And then for the storage, so ANSI F8 6, like that. And then for the closer, so let's say for the fourth one, I want that also. Now for this one, I'm going to uncheck. And then for the hinges here, for the fourth one, so I'm going to type this time a different one. So I'm going to type BB, another code 3, PR dash BB 5 knuckle. Okay. Now for the frame silencer, so of my fourth door frame silencer, there is a frame silencer, but I do not want to have a kick plate, so I just uncheck this. Alright, and then for the fifth and sixth, so I just use the hinges here. This one, and then this one also. So same. And then for the closer, so I'll just leave it blank. So for the frame silencer, so I'll just check this. This one is unchecked. And then for the kick plate, so I'll just uncheck this one. Okay. So this is now my door hardware schedule. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assign hardware to doors. Okay. So I'm going to assign hardware to doors. So let's say, for example, I'm going to open the ground floor here. So I open the ground floor. And then I'll just zoom into this portion here. So I just zoom in here. So let's say I'm going to select this door. Okay, I'll just put a door here. So let's say I put a door. Okay, so I'll use here a single flash door. Okay, so I'll just select. Yeah, so single flash door. Oh wait, no vision, just a single flash here. So I'm gonna place it here. Okay, alright, so wait, I think there's an error. Okay, so I click this door, create, right click, create similar. So I'll just place it here, one here, and let's say I'm gonna place it another one here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this two door. Okay, so after I select the two door, I'm going to change now the parameter of that. Okay, so as you can see under the identity data, the door hardware, so I'm going to enter here 3. Okay, so I select 3 and then apply. So you will notice automatically the properties here will change also. Right? Okay, so basically that's how you change, or that's how you add properties to your door. Like for example, these 3 doors here. So I select these 3 doors, and then again you can apply here what is the door hardware for that. So let's say I'm going to select number 1. So you will notice it will update again your properties here. Then I just apply. So basically that's how you assign hardware to doors. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add hardware to my door schedule. Okay, you see, this is my door hardware, right? So I'm going to add this to my door schedule. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to open the door schedule. And then I'm going to select here, edit. Okay, so I'm going to select edit. Alright, and then I'm now going to add those parameters that I have created. Like for example, the door hardware. Okay, so I'm going to double click the hardware type. You will notice automatically it adds here. After we create our door hardware schedule, those fields that we create here was added also to your door schedule. So door hardware, the hardware type, let's say the lock set, hinges, closer, frame silencer, as well as the kick plate. The kick plate. There you go. So it's now added here. So if I'm going to select here OK, So you will notice that it's now added, right? Okay, see, it's now added here. So as you can see, some of our doors here is not yet, some of our, or most of our doors here, their door hardware is not yet defined. So if I'm going to click this one, so I can see again the door hardware here. Let's say I'm gonna make it 5. Okay, so let's say this one, I'm gonna make it 1, right? So you can select from here also. Instead of going to your ground floor and then select the door there one by one, you can also do it here on your door schedule. Okay, right? Until you have placed all the parameters, all the hardware to your door. Okay, so basically that's how you create your door schedule. That's how you create your door hardware schedule. And that's how you assign a hardware to doors and add the hardware to the door schedule. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Hopefully it will help you doing your Revit project by watching this video. Right, this very short video. So until then, I'm going to create another video that will help beginners to understand how to use the Revit. Right, so until then, take care.